Hello, little video here after I had the idea to take a time lapse of building my new retro space. I moved recently and I've taken the opportunity to set my stuff up a bit nicer. I have a space for PCs, a dedicated Amiga desk, and finally a workbench to give me a permanent place for projects. And I think that's going to be a nice little luxury. So this is an overview of my space, a little chat about monitor options, and wrapping up with an almost full accounting of what's in the collection, including quite a bit I've not gotten into videos yet. Onward! Here's an overview of the space first. Got the desk for the PCs with its classic pull-out mouse and keyboard drawers there. Got a KVM switch so I can plug in multiple PCs. See, I've got the little Toshiba Libretto here, acting as my high-end Pentium, but I can still run it as almost like a desktop. Need some more cables to get that fully working, but I have been testing that it actually works. Next desk over, we've got the Amiga 500 Plus, all still working well, which is nice. And all the drawers are just completely stuffed full of discs, and that is not the end of the discs you're going to be seeing by any chance. Every single one of those drawers is full, plus a bunch of other stuff. And here is what's actually new, which is to have a workspace. This is connected to like my modern PC, and I can do things like, set up steering wheels and flight sticks and whatever to play those games when I want to. But it also just gives me a space where I can, have things out to solder or be working on or whatever without having to worry about them clogging the place up or tidying up or where are my tools. So I just got the Asus Athlon 64 on here at the moment, which I need to finish working on Linux. But I can do that in a comfortable environment now. One other thing to mention, possibly one of the things I should do is make a video about what your monitor options are for retro gaming. Obviously everyone would like a Trinitron CRT, but they're big, they're expensive. What are your other options? And this is something that's really flexible because it's an old TV. It's neither 4.3 or 16.9, so this is very much a master of none, but can do all. And the number of connections it has on the back, well, or even on the side. You've got S-Video, you've got your composite, and then on the back, if I can get a view of it. Oh, barely. On the back you'll see you've got component, you've got SCART, you've got audio in, you've got VGA, DVI. No, this one doesn't have an HDMI. I mean, they're easy to get, but also you can use a cable to DVI. But what it also has critically is that aerial connection there. And what you can do with the aerial connection, of course, is connect really old stuff that comes with a TV tuner and needs to be tuned in. So that's been handy for my Atari 800, which I'd have no other way of connecting. Got a bit of storage as well. So this is very much just kind of random grab bag, mostly old, but some new. And then over here we have the slightly neater storage. So down the bottom I've got more tools and things. I've got a PlayStation 2, joysticks, all sorts. When I said you were going to be seeing more discs, just all these completely full of floppy disks. I think that's almost all of them. And things get a bit neater and more presentable. Bunch of old PC games on CD and DVD. And at the top, got big box stuff, a bit of stuff the Atari 800, and a couple of big box Amiga. These are the big box Amiga games, couple of big box PC games. Yeah. And then finally I'll actually run through, I guess, what I've got in the collection now and what the status is. Alrighty, the collection. Just move around this, there's a lot to cover. It's got the Tulip PC Compact 2. This came, with its box, which might be the only thing I have a box for. Found it for €10, stashed away in the bottom of a shelf somewhere in a second-hand store. It's based on the NEC V20, so it's basically like an OG IBM PC clone. It will run at the original 4.77 megahertz. It's 8-bit, not 16-bit. This is really the OG. Haven't turned it on yet. Haven't tried it. This is actually my old desktop PC, which was a it was originally an i7 920, so like a Gen 1 i7, but you can whack a 6-core, 12-thread Xeon X5650 in there and overclock the hell out of it. So that was what was in there, a 4 gigahertz Xeon, which lasted me up until I think 4 or 5 years ago when I upgraded. Pretty good machines these, and slowly moving towards being actually retro since what's about 2010, 2011. Time does fly. A bit of VR stuff, we'll just ignore that, not so retro. The Packard Bell monitor, well, there's a story. I've still never actually shown this machine. So you've got the Packard Bell Pentium 2 down here. It's Pentium 2 400. Was a relatively high-end machine for a normal manufacturer. It came with that. It came with the matching keyboard. Came with this desk, which I've slightly modified to have 2 pull-out sections and make them bigger instead of just one. Because what's the point of having like a pull-out keyboard but no pull-out mouse? How are you? It doesn't make any sense to me. And my RSI won't deal with that. So yeah, got that. Got the monitor with it. Just like a whole complete set. Came with, the original recovery discs, a bunch of quite mouldy manuals. I mean, quite mouldy, but not, you can open the pages and read them. So yeah, nice Pentium 2, really core for some classic PC gaming. As is the libretto. I guess the Pentium 2 is going to do the old 3D accelerated stuff. Got an AGP socket. For anything earlier than that, this is overclocked to hell. It's supposed to be a 166 Pentium MMX, and it's now running at 266. So that has some lines on the screen, which is a problem. But I bought the little dock for it that lets you plug in the VGA and like a keyboard and mouse. So I could now use that for anything that just needs basically a fast machine, but without really any 3D or anything. Now you've got the green screen from the Olivetti, which is like an 8086, so an old 16-bit PC. As you can see, it's doing some funky stuff. Last time I turned it on, it was kind of flickery, and now it's stuck like this, where the screen is kind of shrunk down a bit. You can even see this is upside down. It says like data, I don't know, loading something, data font. Oh, loading data font. Yes, I think that was the program that was maybe pre-installed. Doesn't work. So yeah, I don't know what's wrong with this weird machine. Gonna need some looking at sometime. Got the cute little Canon printer. See a lot of these around. I guess they're easy for people to forget in their cupboard somewhere, unlike a full-size printer, so they still seem to get unearthed. They haven't just been binned yet. And that's the Amiga 500 Plus with the hard disk, extra RAM, matching monitor. Yeah, lovely machine. Hundreds and hundreds of cover discs and things in all these drawers. Got the Casablanca, which I'll talk a little bit more about, and the Atari 800 XL. Got the Asus Pundit from my most recent video, Athlon 64 based machine. Weird blend of almost being modern. It's got SATA. If it had a graphics card slot, it would probably be PCI Express. So it's almost like the oldest modern machine. So I think that's a pretty interesting bit of kit. Box full of just, random motherboards and stuff, and all sorts of things, graphics cards, and yeah, you just end up collecting stuff. What else we got here? Just hard disks, some modern, some old. These bubble wrap packages you may or may not recognize as the compact portables. So I've got a 286 that works and is fully restored, or at least it was last time I powered it on, and the 386 which powers up but has no RAM, and it needs like special custom RAM. It looks like the screen works, it shows an error message. If I had the RAM, it would probably work, but sadly I do not have the RAM, and getting it is going to be really difficult. Maybe one day someone will make it. got in the bag the 486 Toshiba laptop. Got the really trashed TI Extensor, which is a Pentium 75. That's quite a nice age of machine to own as well. And yeah, down in my storage, you've got the PlayStation 2, which I've owned since new. Really cool joystick down here. Super heavy, a bit bashed up. I need to maybe find a way to fix that. Old wireless card, just in case I ever need that. Yeah, tons and tons of discs for the Atari 800, the big ones, and loads of 3.5-inch discs, which are PC and Amiga. Also CD-ROMs, and yeah, the collection of more modern PC, CD-ROM, DVD, big box, as shown before. We had a couple of mystery boxes in that pan. So here's the contents. Got a lot of paperwork with this thing. It's a Casablanca video editing system. Came with some nice accessories as well, like this old Logitech trackball and extremely clicky mechanical keyboard. I saw this hanging around in a second-hand store. It was originally €50. I think it eventually went down to 20, and I thought that's probably worth having. I think the keyboard alone may actually be worth that. It wasn't with it. All that was on the shelf was the unit, and then they went and got the giant box full of paperwork and accessories and discs and extra hard discs. So I haven't even tried to turn this thing on yet. But it's got a Motorola 68060 inside it, which is also worth something. And it's kind of a cut down Amiga with a cut down Amiga DOS and software on it. They were in the situation of when the Amiga, when Commodore went out of business, their business relied on this custom software that was written entirely to run on Amigas, and if you couldn't get them anymore, what were they going to do? So they put together this Motorola-based system, which they're actually a company who used to make graphics and sound cards, basically, for the Amiga to expand its capabilities. So it's kind of the the Motorola CPU, and then their extended graphics and sound products instead of what you would have got in the Amiga custom chipset, and that's all kind of mashed together with some version of Kickstart, and yeah, be interesting to have a look at, but not one I've got around to yet. The other major box is this one with the lovely Atari 800 XL in. We've seen that one in some other video, but it's got a few accessories and stuff in here that I've never touched, like a printer. It needs to have the disk drive and the tape drive fixed up, so those are all projects for the future. And there we have it, new space and a peek at almost the whole collection. Honestly, there's so much littered about, I probably missed some things, like that HP Palm Top on the shelf, and the Xbox 360, PS3, Nintendo Wii, and Amiga 1200 living under my television. As for what's next, I'm working on the Linux on Athlon 64 stuff. Linux Mint works super nicely and was a breeze to install, but I don't think I have the video playback acceleration working right, and I'd really like to see if it can hack media duties if you stick to formats it can accelerate, like H.264. I was already partway through a video on the Amiga 1200 accelerator, but I'm not completely sure it's interesting. We'll see. I'd really like to start something big for the Amiga's 40th anniversary. She is, after all, my first computing love. And YouTube really loves an Amiga video, which doesn't hurt. But we'll see if I can make the commitment. I'm not worried about the exact date, but for, reasons, it should probably be around the middle of this year if it's going to happen. That's all for now. Best of luck with your own projects, and take care.